Oh, hi.
I gotta pause my music down. Hi. I had
How
a
dare
moment
you.
there. I was just listening to some new jams.
Ooh.
Just listening to some new jams.
New
We are
jams.
live. Hopefully everybody's with us. I will be totally honest with everybody up front. I'm recovering from a long weekend, 4 days of it, and what a weekend was it? It was a very good weekend. I had a lot of fun, but my brain just can't quite handle the amount of overload it got this weekend anymore. But it was worth it. It will be when I wake up tomorrow. So hopefully everybody's having a good time. October's a few days away. It's getting to that spooky time of year. I overloaded my brain with a new show on Netflix the past night and a half. I got through that
Flanagan?
Midnight Mass.
Oh,
Midnight Mass is fucking
I love
almost
him.
perfect.
I love his work, man.
Everything Mike Flanagan does is amazing, but this I would say it's I don't know I don't think anything will ever beat Haunting on Hill House, but this show is very fucking good. It's very close. Like it makes you think more. I think
Yeah.
personally that the other one, and we'll get into that. I'm Eddie Vegas, by the way.
J.C. Walsh.
Mm-hmm.
Reverend Scrooge, Lord of Gumdrops.
Oh.
You do like them dots. You do like them dots. He saw a lot of boxes
Shit.
and dots this weekend.
What was his name? I
I-
don't remember
I
the character's
did.
name. Oh no. Oh no.
A Gumdrop. That's what I'm gonna call him.
Yeah, the Gumdrop King.
No,
I can't
no.
pronounce his name. Killian or something.
Yeah.
Killian, yeah, so yeah. something like
Redheaded
that.
dude.
Yeah, he was cool. Oh no, I went back too far. I'm getting my
Couple quick things.
IMDb up. I'm yelling.
Today we are going to be covering Cube. In
Never
my
heard
opinion,
of it.
a '90s classic. So much so that these two guys had never seen it before.
Man,
I
wait.
in
This
my
movie's from the
mind, I thought it was a
90s.
classic.
I'm out of here.
Kazan.
I can't believe it.
Kazan or Kazan?
Kazam,
Sorry.
like the
Yeah,
the Shaq movie?
Kazan and
No, that's
and
Shazam, you asshole.
No,
No, it's not.
the DC thing. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Kazim, Kazim, Kazam.
Kazim.
Alabim,
K-A-Z-A-M.
Yeah, his name is definitely Zim Zim Zalabim from Johnny Quest.
Kazid.
Bada bing,
Zimzum,
bada
like
boom.
the guitarist from Marilyn Manson? No.
Ziggy?
All right.
What? Twiggy Zig?
So
Dot.
Ziggy Stardust. That's that guy.
Ooh, Look
Anyways,
how dark that
that's
is.
awful thick.
Like the
awful
bottom of the cube.
You could put a fucking straw in that.
Oh.
Like it will stand up. All right, so I'm quite a few vodkas deep because this is what I do on my last night of a 4-day weekend. And I'm gonna probably let these guys do most of the talking tonight, which is uncommon because I'm the only one who's ever seen this movie before. I don't have a lot to say about this.
I too do not believe you.
Movie.
Bullshit.
I don't. I don't.
This is a trick.
And to me, this is a perfect, low budget, overachieving '90s horror movie.
Yeah.
That you don't have to think too much about, even though if you wanted to, you could go overboard thinking about it, but it's not designed
Mathematician
to do that.
shit. Mathematician shit.
Yeah, but I think because they spell that out so well for you.
Yeah.
This is essentially shot in like one room, and it looks they got to spend all their money on cool effects, and some of them don't hold up quite as well as they did in 1997. But considering the amount of money they had to make a movie like this, which wasn't very much, I'm pretty sure this was originally a TriStar movie, which those are all like low.
Oh my God, TriStar with the Pegasus.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure
this is a movie. I think this is a movie that was made. It's one of those like yearly Canadian film festival things. Well, Canada will hand producer a bunch of money, and they get to make a fucking movie for it because they get all them tax breaks. And Cube was made.
I'm sure it's something like that because it's just it's a low budget horror movie, but I actually think it's fairly well acted. I think the effects hold up very well. I think the overall story holds up very well. This is Saw before Saw. This movie was a lot of things before they were things. And
Resident Evil.
I don't think this movie. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I don't think this movie gets the credit that it deserves. And now that you guys have seen it, The Collector, and I mean all these movies. Like this movie was doing.
Oh my God, you said The Collector. I love you.
Yeah, but it's a lot.
An extension of Saw, of course, because The Collector's a failed script. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going with you.
No, you're good. You're good. It's just no, that's fine. Add to it, man. It's just it's one of those movies like people are trapped somewhere. There's things you have to get out of, and you have to figure it out. So it's a hybrid movie, right? Like it's not just a horror movie. It's also kind of sci-fi because you're not sure are they in an alien ship, which they say in this movie. You don't know how they're there.
It's
why
clearly
they're
a
there,
government conspiracy.
They don't. There's a lot
MK
of government
Ultra.
conspiracy talk. It could be an MK Ultra thing. You never know. Charlie Manson did a lot of acid back in the day. There's a lot of things that could be. So, I mean, Jesus Christ.
That doctor looked like Charles Manson a little bit.
I'm just throwing this out there. Today, New York City, fired a shitload of fucking nurses and doctors for not taking a vaccine, and only the city, not the state, and enforced the fucking National Guard to take over their stuff. That's science fiction, dude. I'm sorry to say, we're living in a fucking.
Took you. I think we're 2 minutes in. Usually, you're about 30 minutes in before you do shit like this.
No, but we're living in a sci-fi movie. Like, what's going on right now is fucking madness.
It's some strange, some interesting times. Very interesting
real life. It's 100% political, and this movie hits on those notes. So, whatever you believe in, however you believe in it, do your thing. God bless. Whatever, however you want to do it.
I like it.
But this movie, to me, I've seen it a bunch. Is a classic. I'm very surprised that neither one of you guys have ever seen it. I'm very interested to see what you guys think of the movie.
It's been my radar for a long time.
Yep.
I'm giving my synopsis early on my rundown, but
this is
to say too much later on.
This is one of those movies I heard about as a young lad. Somebody, he definitely was probably methed out or something. Told me all about it when I was in the arcade in the Warp Mall. Shout out Tilt, may they rest in peace. And I was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the greatest arcade game ever created. Sorry, X-Men and Simpsons. And somebody's like, dude, the Cube is such a fucking awesome movie. It's like, and then they would always say it's just Saw before Saw, and that always intrigued me. So now I've always wanted to watch it, and I did watch it, and I'm glad I did, because I thought it was really good.
I think it holds up very well.
I think I liked the pacing. The main thing to me wasn't about the Cube. It wasn't about the situation they were in. It wasn't about any of that. To me, in a weird way, I think this is more of a character piece to see how the psychology of these people kind of slowly deteriorate and how they have to handle being in the situation. Granted, realistically, if you think about it, only 2 of those people were even helpful in the Cube, and the whole point was that somebody or something made it so every person would be useful. I don't see in which regard Quentin would ever be useful, or the Doctor would ever be useful, but Joe can definitely. I know Joe's gonna be able to probably sway me in the right direction.
I'll throw it in right now. That is a great character piece. It does use the usual tropes. You got a doctor, like you said. You got a cop. You got a
criminal.
You got a criminal, escape. You
got a smart nerd kid, and
then you got the chick from the college who is a mathematician.
You got a guy addicted to gumdrops.
Genius. You have the gumdrops, who's I think mentally challenged is still the right terminology, but he's a genius.
He's a savant.
He's a genius.
This is before people really knew what oh my god, fucking Asperger's was. Shit like that.
Thank you. It was very Asperger's. Yeah, he's on the spectrum. Yeah, that's another
autism.
And then what was the other character?
He's definitely autistic.
And then of course you got the guy who constructed everything, because you're gonna have that one guy, the mystery guy, of course. So the tropes are there, but they were very well put into place, because, like you said, it's a character piece. And if these knuckleheads actually listen, these are some angry people. These are very angry people. They're all dysfunctional, except for Kazan. He was just that poor bastard thrown him into a mix of a bunch of assholes, because they were kind of all assholes to some degree.
Well, here's the thing, though, right? So here's what's so great about this movie, which I love. A lot of movies nowadays need everything spelled out for you. That's why I think something like *Malignant* such like a polarizing movie, because it spells out some stuff, but it doesn't spell out everything. You know what I mean? Or a lot of a lot of the A24 movies. They don't need to literally force feed you dialogue and force feed you breaking down every single reason why every single person does every single thing. Movies like this, in my opinion, are phenomenal because you don't know any of their backstories. You don't know any of their history.
Yep.
You kind of find out one or two, but it just adds to the story later on.
Yeah.
But you don't need to know. Now, if they were to make this movie right now, this movie would be almost 3 hours long, or 2 hours.
It'll be over-explained.
And it would be over-explained, and you'd have to fucking know every single backstory of every single fucking character and why they do the way they like. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know why they were chosen. You don't need to know why they're there. You don't need to know
That's
who
what I
actually
like
built
about
the
it.
fucking
Yeah.
thing. You don't need to know that stuff. That leads it to like the interpretation of the person. Whether any of them get out or not, that's you have to watch it to find that out, or stay with us and we'll get into some spoilers in a little bit. But the fact of the matter, resides is like the reason why this movie is so terrifying in the way it's terrifying is because it plays a mind game. Imagine waking up, right? Like just like Saw. Imagine waking up being, handcuffed by the leg, the ankle, to a fucking old pipe, and with one other person, dead guy in the middle of the room. Then you go, wait, how did I get here? What's going? And like that could hypothetically.
That sounds like a good
anybody.
plot of a movie.
Kidnappings happen all the time, almost like it's been done before. This movie did it way before most other ones. Anyways,
oh my.
So it's one of those things where like put yourself in that position. Put yourself in that like now factor in this is before cell phones. This is before the internet really blew up. This is before people had like outlook on everything. And,
there
like,
goes Ed's fucking theory out the window then. No cell phones.
No, that helps it. Because this is before it. So like there is
There's
no
also no
like,
windows or any demon witches to peek at either.
No,
true. No telescopes.
It's a bunch of people that don't know each other, all thrust into a situation, and they're just trying to figure out. And there's a million movies that have done stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
What's the fucking movie that happened? It's like The Hunt or whatever. I've seen it twice.
Yeah,
now. I love it.
Yeah, The Hunt is a similar style.
In fact, there's two more Cube movies. There's two more of these, and one of which is a prequel, which I don't like. I haven't seen them yet, so
I've never seen any of the sequels. I've only ever seen this one. I've never bothered because I just can't.
I'm curious.
Well,
I might watch the second one. I'm not a big, especially when this came out. I wasn't into a lot of the sequels. A lot of time for low budget movies were worse. So like, and there was no get away from it. Like it just.
Excuse you, Ginger Dead Man.
Right. Exactly. Any of those.
Classic.
I mean, a lot of those movies are rough.
Gary Busey.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So, anyways, it's like anything else, man. It's just I feel like this is a moment in time, and I feel like the fucking like the opening scene. The dude getting. I don't think it's like a secret, but like the dude. I think it's in all the trailers.
Well, it's on the poster. Nowadays, like the guy where it opens up with. He's the guy in the poster.
That was a great gore scene.
And there's no explanation. You never hear who that guy was.
Yeah,
you never know who he is. You never know.
I feel like
Resident Evil. That's what we talked about earlier with the crazy
with the lasers and shit.
Yeah, like
the effects of that opening scene are actually like still to this day really good. Like that surprised me.
When the dude falls apart, it's practical.
Yeah.
It all looks great. It really does.
There's a good combination of CGI and practical. Mostly practical, but there are some little CGI ones, very tiny. When certain spikes come out, just to get keep with the motion and stuff like that.
It was the traps, like even that opening scene when it folds up at the end. It's clearly
yeah.
There's that and
or like that weird like tornado blade thing or whatever the fuck.
The guy Quentin almost gets stuck in.
Yeah, the guy kind of like gets out of it, and Quentin gets out of it. Like that, that didn't look the best, but it looked good enough.
No, but the practical effects that are in this movie with like the old guy and like he gets the acid on his face or whatever.
Oh, that
was fucking awesome. That was so good.
That was great. Yeah.
It's like
very good.
And it's like, you could argue that it's like,
oh shit, even like when they get to the edge of the cube and like look out, to see what they're in, and it looks like it just goes forever. That's clearly a CGI like room, but that's when CGI does well still because it's just a black.
It's just black.
It's very dark.
It could be a matte painting for all I know. I really don't know, but
it had a lot of the. Sorry, it had a lot of the fear of the unknown. It had a lot of the fear of the unknown type of thing.
I agree.
And it's something that clearly made. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I was just.
They clearly, the people behind the scenes. This is one I'd actually love to see how they did it, like how they were able to take all this, because it clearly is on a shoestring budget, right? What I'm guessing is they
shoestring or bootstring.
Oh, true. They must have had just like the one cell or like one or two cells just so they could transfer and swap between the two, and then just swap out LED lights or whatever the fuck it is. Because I thought like they did so much with so little, and that was another thing that was like, god damn, that stuff that you definitely. There definitely is a case of it before, but you did not see it very much beforehand. But they did a good job.
Not done well like this. Now I mean it's there are gems, there are diamonds in the rough like all over the place. Again, you watch a movie like Warlock, which we've brought up before. The movie's cheesy, but it holds up for some reason. Or you watch like Leprechaun. The movie's cheesy as fuck, but it holds up for some reason.
Or Spookies.
No, that one unfortunately does not hold up very well. But that's not its fault. When you know the story about the movie, yeah. When you know the story about that movie, you go, it's not its fault. Don't blame the movie.
Trauma never goes away, Joe.
You're welcome.
Weird thing to say you're welcome to,
so,
but
clearly we're talking about Cube. I mean, again, see, this one's it's a tightrope for me because to walk as far as what I want to give out, what I want to not give out right now, because like again, to me, and I mean, a lot of people I have talked to in my I don't know travels or whatever, like I know a lot of people that have seen this movie and love this movie. So like I'm very surprised. I was very surprised when Ben threw this out that neither one of you guys had seen it. So I'm happy that we found something that neither one of you guys had seen like this. Because to me, like there are big budget movies that people don't see and you go, oh wow, I'm surprised you haven't seen that. Like, but then they're like diamonds in the rough like this one that like you would just they're like they have a cult following that you kind of just assume people have seen. You know what I mean? Like I could never, I know I've rented this movie back in the day when we used to go up to like Movie Time Video when we rent 5 movies for $5 or whatever. Like Joe would crash at my house, we'd walk up there, we'd each pick out a movie. There'd be 3 or 4 of us and like whatever. I don't remember if like you were ever in one of the crowds when we watched this or not. Obviously not. You would remember.
No. I remember.
But that's where my brain like I forget who I've seen it with, who I haven't.
We've seen Scarecrows together. We watched Demon Knight together. I didn't watch The Crow because, you know me, I was very like where I was raised. Like my mom didn't want me to see it. I was like, nah, I can't do it. I can't watch it. My friends, I was like, I had this weird rebellious but non-rebellious thing when I was a kid. It was so odd. So I couldn't watch The Crow until I turned 17. When I turned 17, I bought it immediately. But we watched Scarecrows together. We watched Demon Knight. We watched other stuff I probably shouldn't have watched. I would never watch The Crow. It was so weird. It was so odd.
It's because Brandon Lee is too attractive.
That must be why.
That's always what it is.
Maybe that's what the real thing is.
Brandon Lee scares me away.
Well, Ben, it can't rain all the time, so.
Well, let's just say he's not in City of Angels.
Oh, we're just.
I don't hate that movie.
There's no salvation for these jokes.
No,
got him.
I've actually never seen that one with the Eddie Furlong.
Salvation's not bad. No, that's Wicked Prayer. I didn't watch that. Okay. I'm kind of like, I really don't want to. I want to see it, but I'm kind of like.
I've heard really bad things.
Yeah, Salvation was decent. Had a little bit of like corrupt cop story to it. Frank Ward was a great villain in that. He was in Tremors. But yeah, City of Angels is decent. City of Angels is decent.
I don't mind it. When I was young, I loved it because the soundtrack was amazing.
Oh my god, White Zombies, Boogeyman.
Yeah, that was fucking amazing.
Kid Corner's on there.
Yeah, Korn did a great song on it. Hole did a great cover of Gold Dust Woman. Deftones are actually in the movie. Deftones, before they even had an album, I'm pretty sure were actually in the movie. The final scene there, like when they're doing like the fucking, I don't know, when Juno, whatever the fucking guy's name is, like Judah was walking through the crowd, fucking killing whatever the fucking dude's name is, the crow, in that movie. My brain's not firing so well today, guys. I'm sorry.
How dare you not remember
better with facts.
Bad guys from The Crow, City of Angels.
But I mean, that movie had a lot of fucking. It had Iggy Pop in it. It had Trini Thong.
That's how I learned about Iggy Pop. Was that movie?
Yeah, he was in that movie. Thomas Jane was in that movie as a bad guy.
Holy
the
shit.
guy who played the Punisher.
The Punisher.
He played the guy that wore the wigs and fucking jerked off in the booth, and like he came through the booth and killed them.
Great scene.
Trini Trong or Tong, who's the Yellow Ranger in the original Power Rangers. She's in this movie. Then she died in a car accident, like while this movie was being like edited.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, she died like very, very young. But this was like her breakout role because she was in like a kids show and like this was supposed to be her opportunity to like move on from something, and she ended up. So like this has tragedies in it, like not quite anything like
you got like Lee and you got this.
You're right, by the way.
That's wild. That's
Judah Earl is the bad guy's name.
Yeah, see?
Richard.
I know,
Brooks.
like, dude, the movies I know, I fucking know. Yeah. It takes. Why are we talking about the Crow City?
I know.
Let's get on the fucking cube because I'm I'm fine. Like,
I
you
don't know
can
why
see
we
it.
did this.
And
I'm not firing
Deftones.
Side conversation.
Deftones as themselves. Thank God. Thank God
Yeah.
that was in the
And I'm
cast.
pretty sure because that movie came out in '96, I think, was released, right? Or '97.
96 to 97, yeah.
96.
So we're in there.
The
And
first
I think it
Pro
was
was
right around
93.
when Adrenaline came out. So they were
There was a
nobody even knew
show?
they were yet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God,
There was a show. It was not great. It was not
22
great.
episodes.
It was
Stairway to Heaven.
It was kind of cheesy, like you watch like Hercules back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh my
Or
God.
like
It tied more to the first movie. Eric Draven was in it.
Edward Furlong was the Crow at one point?
Yes, he was.
Holy
you didn't hear me
with
say
the
that?
clip.
No, I wasn't listening.
You know what I noticed? And I don't mean this. This is kind of funny. He does miss some things we say. He repeat something we're saying. Like, we just said that.
Well, I'm looking at the cast list. So like when you're reading it, it goes in one ear out the other one.
Two guys that have more drinks than you know what the hell is going on.
Oh, I've been going for a while now. Couple minutes now.
I've been
watched a lot of
poking it up. I'm
depressing
getting
stuff
ready. I'm getting ready for this
like,
fall season. Oh, sorry, what?
Kind of out of it. Yeah. So I guess we should just turn it over to you guys. So here's the deal. Like, to me, this movie's a classic. 1997, prime time for movies like this.
Yep.
This is right around like the Wishmasters of the world, and like Scream isn't too far after this, or right around the same time frame.
Yeah, a couple years
Actually,
after.
it might have been before that. That was '96, right?
Before.
Yeah,
Scream was '96 and Q was '97.
96.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking. Yep. I'm thinking
I got my year right this
and,
time.
yeah, but it's no, you're right. It's right around that time when like horror started coming back, but people didn't know what they
Yep.
A lot of horror was just ripping off Scream at the time. Like I Know What You Did Last Summer and fucking
There's
Urban
some
Legend
90s people missed at those times, but yes,
The
you're
Faculty.
right.
The Faculty is a great movie.
Faculty is really cool.
The Faculty is very good. Actually, I watched I watched Scream 2 the other day because I had nothing to watch when I was just sitting here doing nothing to kill some time, getting ready to go play paintball Saturday morning. And I was like, I just had time to kill. So I put on Scream 2, and I haven't watched it in a long time. And I forgot the amount
It's a decent movie.
actors. It's okay. I forgot the amount of big name people that are now 20 years later, big name people, 20, however long later, longer than that, right? And that was a 99 movie.
The second one, 99. The third one was the early 2000s.
Don't worry, I'm hearing everything you guys are saying.
Good.
Scream 2 came out in
that movie's
97.
99.
97.
Scream 2 came out in 97?
No, Scream 3 came out in 99, right?
Scream
3 was
December 12th, 1997.
Wow.
I only know it's Scream 3 because I saw it in a movie theater after, I think, when Kristen was pregnant.
I rocked the shit out of Scream 2 soundtrack. Cottonmouth Kings.
Scream
soundtrack's amazing.
Scream 3, February 4th, 2000.
Wow.
Because Kristen was pregnant with Rosie.
That's so weird. I like the first one, the fourth one the best.
And
the first one, the fourth one, my favorite.
I haven't seen the fourth one yet. Yep, that's the only one I haven't seen
great.
Yet. Which is great. Is that the one in the hospital or like there's like a big scene in the hospital or something?
Oh, that that scene was crazy.
In the fourth one. I gotta watch that one.
That was some slasher cheese insanity. I loved it. Yeah, watch the fourth one. We should do after we do the first one. We should like just do the other Screams at some point.
We'll figure them out. We'll
figure it out. I know we're sidetracking. All right, so what do you want me back? Here's
what we can do because I don't want to make this one like we're doing 2 this week, so that's the other reason why I don't want to go too long with either one because I'd rather spend more time on Friday night than spend a lot of like this one. I feel like it could be pretty quick. Yeah, but I rather plus Trick or Treat's an anthology, so it's just like I'll have. Oh,
you're giving it away, all right? Yeah, we are.
Well, we said it the other night. I thought. Oh no, we didn't say that. We're gonna be watching Trick or Treat. If you're watching this live right now, Trick or Treat's gonna be
Trick or Treat
days.
Friday night.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, be on the lookout for Trick or Treat dropping. We don't know like when things are going to be dropped because we're like things are kind of in release all over the place right now. So if you watch this live, Trick or Treat's on Friday to celebrate Halloween, October 1st. So throw that out there. So realistically, we already kind of went over the synopsis. Obviously, we already talked about that. It's a bunch of people wake up in a random box. The box is a cube. The box has a door in each fucking wall. A random cast of characters. I think in the initial box is 5 people. The old guy who gets out of jail, the Santiago guy who's the cop, the doctor lady who's a conspiracy theorist, the fucking dorky hot lady who is a mathematician, and there's the guy who Worth.
Yep,
and then they don't know what he does at first.
Episode 6, actually.
But that other guy doesn't come in right away. He comes in later on.
He's like halfway through.
Yeah, so there's 5 people.
Yeah,
he comes through halfway.
He just drops in.
The autistic guy comes in when they're trying to work their way through the building. So then, you know, they 5 people wake up in a room together trying to figure each other out. You know, it's kind of misleading at first. You have this one guy who takes charge right away. Turns out he's a cop, you know, which I'm sure he is, but he's a cop and he's, you know, like trying to figure things out. And they're all trying to kind of assume and assess like what each one, why they might be there. And then all of a sudden he figures out that like, oh shit, this old guy who's really smart about like throwing a boot in to see if something's going to trigger a trapper is the guy who's like world renowned for breaking out of fucking jails. He's broken out of 7 maximum, you know, potential penitentiary prisons or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, he's the guy from Escape Plan with Sylvester Stallone.
Might be.
Or The Rock. Welcome to The Rock.
Might be there, yeah, too. That was the other one. Yeah. Could have been in Shawshank Redemption. You never know. You know?
Yeah. Ooh,
yeah, he was definitely in Shawshank.
Mm-hmm. Could have been in Shawshank. You never know. I don't know. Could have been any of them. Could have been in if he's that much of a thief.
Longest Yard. He was a thief.
Ocean's 11.
Oh wow! Look at all these movies.
Man,
we are just
crossbreeding over here. Wait, what?
Yeah. All right. So, you know, that's pretty much the basic synopsis. They're in this cube. They don't know why they're there. They're all in kind of like prison jumpsuits style jumpsuits, and they have to kind of navigate their way through. Some of the cubes have traps in them. Some of them are gas oriented. Some of them are blades. Some of them are like razor wire that cuts through them.
Mm-hmm.
Some are like very, very, very interesting, like different thing. And like some of them are sound triggered. Some of them are heat sensor triggered. Like so they have to kind of figure that out. And it's like the little pieces they give you just enough in each like piece to get through this movie, where you're like, oh, you find out that the girl's really good at math because there's a little plate in between each door that gives you like a set of numbers. Well, and she figures out like, oh, it's you know, a prime number that gets you to the safety or whatever. Then eventually that turns out to not be the case, and then it turns out that it's maybe coordinates, and then you find out like who everybody is and why they're there. And then you know, you find out that like the doctor lady knows a little bit of, so for some reason knows a little bit of the backstory about Santiago. Like, he claims to be a really nice guy, good cop. His wife, you know, is gone. Oh, she's not dead though. She's just gone. Well, why is she gone? Turns out he's a piece of shit and a woman beater, like a child.
Yeah, is that what they were whispering? Like, I couldn't hear. I had to turn the subtitles. I couldn't hear their interaction was intense.
She knew about him. She figured it out. Like she figured out. She'd read about him in a paper or something, and she knew about him and called him out on his bullshit. And then that's why he does something later on. Yeah. Well, no, you're good. Well, he kind of, you know, does something later on that wasn't good. But that's why he's got an interest in young girls, hence why he's really into Levin, which is funny because her real last name is my wife's real last name.
DeBoer.
Kind of hilarious. Yeah, DeBoer. Yeah.
Oh, that's a little weird.
Not a very common name at all. But still, so he's like, you know, he's into like young girls or whatever. Like, well, what does that mean? You know, so like, there's a lot of like little jabs, and then you get the. What's his name? The autistic kid.
Kazan. I think it's Kazan.
Kazan. Yeah, Kazan drops in literally, and now you have, because technically it starts off with 5, and by the time Kazan comes in, he's also now he makes 5 again because you lose a guy at one point, and well, you know, to a trap that you didn't see coming, and that was a gnarly scene, and that's right there, prime horror movie. Like, you don't really know what's gonna happen. You see a guy at the very beginning get kind of sliced open. And you don't know whatever happens to that guy, but that's why it's so dope that you see something like that, because you're like, you know, like, you don't know what these rooms are capable of. But the old guy, you know, you guys can kind of take over.
The homie Ren.
Yeah, we don't need to tell you everything. I mean, spoiler alert right away. We're gonna go through this a little bit and then kind of give you some back, you know, because there aren't that many kills in the movie, but there are a lot of cool setups to what could have been a cool kill. And that's why it's so tense. Like, you know, it's them trying to navigate through this cube setup and how to figure out how to get out of it, and if they even can. And then like math comes into it, and I suck at math, but hearing her explain what she's explaining, you go, oh, that does make sense. That eventually it's gonna fucking reposition itself. And then when they finally figure out what's going on with this thing, that's what's really cool, because they just assume originally that they're just stuck in this box, and eventually they can figure out how to navigate the way out. But why can't they figure out how to get out? One of the twists, spoiler alert, the fucking boxes move, and they don't realize that that's what's going on, because they just hear like what sounds like thunder outside.
Yeah.
but like they don't tell you.
You get to
movies nowadays. You would have seen all of that right away. Like you would have had a backstory on why this girl's good at math. You would have had a backstory on why this guy's a bad cop. You would have had a backstory on why this lady's in here. You would have had a backstory on why this special kid's here. You would have like, and I love the fact that they don't just come right out and tell you that, and you never know why any of them were chosen for this room, for this box. You have no idea. And that's what's amazing.
Nope.
You never know.
Well, like, there's a lot of great quotations in this movie, and I wish I wrote down one of them. But one of my favorites is when the guy Worf says, we are the cube, and the cube is us.
Yeah.
And that alone says a lot about, I don't know, human experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
We are all part of a social construct. You can have unique lives and still find a way through and have individualism, but when is your life an actual construct? And maybe that's what the cube is an actual construct. They're practically in a loop at some point. They're going around in a circle at one point. Before they discover
it's like a circle.
Yeah,
it's like a circle.
So I enjoyed how it, and again, it's typical trope, but still because it's its own voice and its own story, it still felt different. How it revealed so much little by little.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the characters, they revealed a little bit more of each character without saying too much. And okay, I'm gonna say it. The acting at some points got a little bit too much for me. It was a little over dramatic and a little much. Like to the point where I was like, all right, I'm getting like kind of annoyed with these people. Like they're just getting.
Wait. You thought these people overacted, but you like that Fear Street bullshit?
Oh, I hear that the acting wasn't perfect in that too.
But like that's a huge production and shouldn't be poorly acted. This is like a low budget shoestring movie.
That's the thing. The acting, there's moments where the acting gets a little crazy, but they do certain camera angles and certain over exaggerated faces. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I enjoy that. But there's other moments. I
just had to point that out. I'm sorry.
No,
I get my balls busted all the time about weird mouths. I just had to point it out. Go ahead, continue.
I need to get my balls busted too, man. I need to. I knew this was gonna happen.
I love it.
So like, there's like moments where the acting just drove me nuts because it got to the point where I seen movies where where everybody gets so angry. We got all these very angry, imperfect characters, and the acting gets so overdone. So when you got assholes being overdone, you just kind of like, oh my god, everybody's pissing me off right now. And that's only because like there's a point in this movie where the pacing was just a little too. It started off like bing, 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 like not fast paced. It just started off like this great unrevealing. You're gonna kill scene begin. You get to see all these different people, and then you get the intensity of the unknown, and then you get to unravel all these different qualities of these people. And then there's a certain point where you kind of like, all right, it's getting like something about it's getting repetitive, which I think it was a human drama get repetitive. I would have liked to see more traps. I would like to see them do more rooms where they had to beat more traps.
Yeah, because they did it once, right?
Like that scene, let me tell you, that scene is probably one of the most intense scenes because I was in my couch like this, like, holy shit, because you got Kazan who has he's autistic. He starts making all those noises, and every time he makes a noise, the room reacts. There's all these crazy spikes, so they had to keep him quiet. Which I really felt bad. Again, when the people are assholes, they're assholes to him well often. Which is, of course, 90s, and there's a lot of people that have patience for certain people, and all these people
like that today too. They just fucking.
You're right. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You're right. But like the way these characters are, as well, I guess I'm trying to get at, and I always thought it. But there was moments like Jesus Christ, like he can't help it.
Yeah.
So but that's where the intensity and the paranoia and a lot of these imperfect characters start to implode. When they got to that part where they keep him quiet, and then they're climbing the room, and then Quentin.
That was probably the most like dramatic, or that was probably the overall best scene in the movie for sure. That was like the climax of like, when
that was, and then
that was
the end.
That was like the breaking.
That shit was crazy.
That's when you really start to see the I guess the real character changes.
Yeah.
With like Quentin and was the doctor. Of course she was still alive. She had to be. That's where you really start to see the real people and who they really are. Which is this gonna sound? This is gonna come across as weird, but I definitely don't agree with everything that Quentin does. But you kind of have to not sympathize with him, but you kind of have to empathize with what he's going through, because he is a guy. He is trying to keep all these assholes in check, and at the same time try to like he's like the impromptu leader. Did he really do much?
Well, so,
no, not really. But
you're by this point, that's what he's a narcissist. Like, he's a piece of shit narcissist.
Like, he thinks he's doing all the stuff.
He
but
thinks he's doing good things. He wants you to think that this
perfect
is
way of saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in his brain. He thinks he's he's Captain America. And then like as things start progressing and as things get tense and more fucking like the real people start coming through and how they're really going to react to things, you start realizing like, oh no, he's actually a piece of shit. He's very short fucking tempered.
I mean, he slapped the doctor. I mean, that was pretty like, oh god, man. Yes.
Yeah, and like realistically, think about it like this. What is his purpose in this?
Like nothing.
Right? You got the one girl who's really good at math. You got the guy who helped build the thing. You have a doctor who can help heal the wounds. You have the fucking guy who breaks out of jail and knows how to get through bad situations. What is this guy's actual ability
here,
other than his leadership skills that he doesn't really he clearly actually doesn't have? Because
here is my thought,
and that's the kind of the point to it though. Like, you're supposed I know what you're saying. So how would I feel if I was stuck in a fucking room with a dude just making random? I'd get nuts with, dude. I was starting to get mad at you before Joe even came on because you were snapping on fucking Mike and Ike's, and I was getting like, it was right in my ear, and I was starting to get pissed off.
Don't make me do it again.
He's gonna start eating some dots.
I missed that. I wasn't even on here yet.
Oh, I know.
But like little noises after a while, I just start getting irritated in general. So like I couldn't. I'll be honest, as cool like as maybe sometimes as a nice guy as I might seem, I also snap real easy because it's just the way my brain.
Yes, he does.
And me and you would not be able to handle that Quentin guy the way he would. No way. No way. No way.
But I also might have turned into him. I can't handle people making noises like that in tough situations. Like, if something's really going on,
so don't put me in a room with Ed and with Mike and Ike's. I'm dead. I'm getting tossed up the cube.
I don't really care, but it's just for like, they're like little things. Like I pick up on a lot of things that I don't leave off on. But after, like, if I'm put in a stressful situation, I'm like, all right, fucking enough. Like, stop breathing heavy or stop fucking snapping your lips or whatever. Like, but like normally I can just kind of pass it off because I'm like, oh, whatever. I probably do irritating shit too. But like, if I'm in a fucking pressure situation, I get frustrated. Like, all right, okay, like, let me figure this out. We'll find it. So like, I can empathize. Ben said that the right way with where this guy was coming from, not because I've never hit a woman or fucking, whatever the fuck else he's done.
Here's my thought with it.
I get the short temper thing because you're in a stress situation.
Me too.
You're trying to navigate your way through it.
And then you get dehydrated and it's hot, and then I like the fact that you can see their lips dehydrating too. But go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, no, that was a phenomenal time.
That was
and it's
excellent.
Such a subtle thing.
Detail.
I think with my thought on it, because like you always have to think about it a little bit further, especially with an open-ended thing like this. Is like, where do they all come from? My thought is because he didn't contribute too much. Do you think the people in the cube like that pick the people, kind of like how John does with Jigsaw, like how he kind of picks his victims for it? Do you think he also took the personality traits into equation too? Because I think he was selected to kind of be a wild card and with his short temper to be like, will the other people join up against him? Like with his.
Well, you brought up a good point because when you get to the point where you start revealing more, you're like, holy shit! All they had to do is just listen to each other and figure it out, and it's all about teamwork. That's why it's a social experiment.
They started in a room that gets them to the end point. Like, if they would just if they just would have talked everything out.
Twist. Holy
it was great.
Shit, was that a good twist?
Also, like the fucking special dude, you're wondering the whole time what he's good at. Well, guess what, man? Like,
give him a second.
Autism is like, a lot of people will tell you that.
Stop yelling, the poor guy.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen. I know quite a few people that are on the spectrum and like different variations of it, and like a lot of them are smarter than me in some regards. They're just awkward, and like that's the thing that people don't get about that. There's more to it than that. That's why it's called the spectrum, because there's some people that are like nonverbal but can fucking figure out a Rubik's cube in 10 seconds. And then there are fucking people that are very, very functional and very like high functioning and have jobs and wrestle. I wrestle with quite a few dudes that are on the spectrum.
Oh, that's why.
And you never know it. Oh, like, because Asperger's, like, they're just awkward. Like, they don't know how to be. they don't necessarily know how to show like empathy sometimes, or they don't know necessarily how to like handle certain situations, but they'll tell you what match happened 35 years ago with what person happened with what finish and how they were fit, and they'll remember every single sequence in a match, and like I can't remember any of that shit, and I'm fucking
I
like
don't
I'm
remember
not
what I
on the,
did
you know what I
today.
mean? So like
Yeah,
but it's just, but that's like, so I think, you know, this was right around when that was starting to kind of become like people starting to figure out like, oh, people aren't just like,
They're not all just like
I don't know
Leonardo
how to say it.
DiCaprio and What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah, that's one way
It's a
to
good-
look at it.
it's a good movie.
He's right. He's right.
That
yeah.
was like the second I saw Kazan, I was like, he's literally just playing a better
or
version
the
of
Rain Man, or you know,
Oh, that's all.
Forrest
Yeah,
Gump,
that's true.
or fucking
The Accountant
you know,
with
like there's a
Ben Affleck.
Dreamcatcher.
well that came out after this, but
Way
yeah.
after.
Yeah. So well, speaking of things that come out, so here's a question for you before we go too deep. I have a theory about something that you guys being music fans and movie fans, and Joe already said something interesting to me that I was surprised about with the whole like, you're kind of a little slow, and I would have liked to see more traps. And now you're saying that as a person who's seen a million other movies that clearly copycatted this movie and never gave them the credit for this movie.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Be told,
yep.
Be honest, right? Okay. Now that you've seen the way the pudding's made, right? Because you've seen a million other movies that took this recipe and fucking maybe perfected it, or maybe added something to it that maybe you're more into, or had more money to make the movie, right? So they have a bigger budget and can do more things outside of one room. I'd like to think of this movie almost towards a shout out to my other show, my podcast, the Three Dudes and Cold Brews podcast, where like I'll play. I'm big into like the early days of metalcore, right? Like I'm a huge fan of like the early 2000s new wave of American metal / metalcore, like
I think I know where
Lamb
you're going
of
with
God, Lamb of God, and fucking
Yep.
As I Lay Dying, and Unearth, and you know, Killswitch Engage, you know, and like all these bands that are now
I started
like
that with
headliners.
you. I started all that those
Right.
days with you. Actually, that's how I
Now
got
think
into
about
one
it
of those
like this.
times.
So you can what I can go back and listen to an old Shadows Fall album, right? Who were really the pioneers. They've been doing metalcore since like 96 or 97.
Yeah.
So like right when this movie came out. Before a lot of other bands even broke or were doing it. Don't give the credit that they deserve, but did it better than pretty much anybody. But a lot of people figured out their fucking their like recipe and like added things that people caught on to, like maybe add a little bit more clean singing here in Atreyu, or maybe add a little bit more breakdown here in As I Lay Dying, or maybe add like or both, you know, that or then like let's start adding
that
like
remains got a little
things
dark in their earlier stuff because he came
well,
from Shadows
the original singer of Shadows Fall is Phil Labonte, so like there you go, like so, and I that's one of my favorite albums ever, the original album with him on it. So what I'm getting at is like if you show people that didn't follow that wave, that are into metal or heavy music, modern bands, right, or that have heard a bunch of the modern bands doing it, right, that came out 5-10 years after these bands that I just named, or maybe even modern bands that are out right now, right, that are like the Whitechapels of the world, that or you know bands that took like metalcore and turned it into fucking deathcore, turned it into whatever the fuck you want to call it. So they've heard all these bands that just regurgitate the same sound over and over and over and over and over again, and like now they fucking use auto tune when they sing clean, and now they use this or they'll use drum machines or so. If you show a crusty old metal dude that's heard about a lot of the newer stuff and have their like taste, they're like, it just sounds mechanical. It doesn't sound good anymore. If you show them these old bands and if they don't know that they're from 2002 or 2000 or 97, they just go, it's just fucking metalcore. Like, it just sounds like every single thing else that's out right now. And they have a bad taste in their mouth. But then you go, no, this is the roots of all that stuff. That's why this is better than that. What I'm saying is this movie was ahead of its time. This movie did this way before Saw was a thing, and way before a lot of these other movies were a thing. But like you don't realize that until you're watching it. But the problem is, if you didn't see this movie before all these other movies, you just see all these other movies and go, this was good for its time, and I can respect it. But man, like they could have done this, or they could have. But then you have to kind of check yourself and go, wait a minute, how much money did they make this for? And did they do this in one room before CGI was perfected? And like, you know what I mean? Like, so you kind of have to give it like a mulligan. Like, yeah, it doesn't hold up, and yeah, the story drags once in a while, and yeah, but it does this with anything. But man, like, think about what it did before all these other movies did that.
Well,
and then you go, oh, holy shit. You know? So anyways. I just want to throw that narrative out.
I agree with that. I mean, like I agree with that because even though I had that issue with the movie, because like I was loving a lot. Here's the thing. It's a really good movie, and when I watch this, it's like holy crap, this did a lot for
a lot of flaws,
that. Oh yeah, and a lot of movies I love.
Well, so was the first Saw movie.
And I give
Saw has a lot of flaws.
Right. The first Saw movie is great, but even the acting in that movie is a little off at some points. Like
you even
Cary
have like
Ellis
Danny
goes off the beam.
Yeah, Gary Yules or whatever his name is.
Cary,
Jesus.
Yeah, Cary Ellis.
Danny Glover?
Yeah,
all the time.
Is it Randy?
Is it Randy? Yeah.
Plane.
But regardless, all right, so I guess to piggyback off of what Ed's saying is, this would be tough because I would have to show this to somebody who probably hadn't seen Saw first, because then I feel like their take on it would be a little skewed, like mine, to be fair. Because I'll say it, like I haven't said this yet in this show episode, whatever you want to call it. I adore the Saw series. I think realistically, I think only one of them is bad, and I think it's Saw 7. That movie is an abomination.
I'm like, they're okay.
See, and I love 7. I hate the title.
3D.
Yeah. I hate that title.
Yeah, I just call it Saw 7.
I hate when they all did that. Yeah,
or like. So it's like
I love my Blade Valentine, my Blade Valentine 3D. It's like okay,
stupid.
But I'm watching at home. It's not really 3D anymore.
No.
It's a great movie though.
You kind of have to like take a step back. You have to, just like Ed's saying, you really have to take that step back and think about it as, dude, this movie came out in '97. They had literally no money. They definitely had less money than James Wan did, which is kind of funny to say now. And what they pulled off, dude, they nailed it. Like in my opinion, like I said,
well, no, I mean, if you compare this to the first Saw, I mean, you can, if you want to look up both.
I think Saw came out in '99. I think.
No, it was later than that.
It was 2000, 2001.
Oh, 2004. 2004.
Because Saw broke out right around that subgenre of torture porn broke right out when horror went crazy.
And Hostel came out.
Horror genre blew up.
I think the original one I think what started it all off, from what I remember, is Texas Chainsaw remake. I think that was like
2003.
Oh, of course.
And then I think I think everything just blew up after that. Like I think everything just took off. Like that's when like the French wave came in with like High Tension and fucking Descent and like all those movies. But anyways, so what I'm getting at is like look up both and see what what has a bigger budget. But you have to remember, Saw did that movie. If you relook at it, it's not too far off. It's essentially done in 90% of the movies in one room, just like this.
Yep.
The difference is there's 3 actors. One of them is sleeping on the floor most of the movie.
God bless them.
6 or 7 different characters. So it's not that like they run very parallel. So like you can
big time.
So like, Saw is probably the best movie to like compare this to because it broke ground. And then you can throw in things like Resident Evil because Resident Evil stole like kills from it, but it's an entirely different
Resident Evil had certain trap rooms. I thought of other movies too, but I can't remember. There's a lot of anything that
again, the collectors,
the new escape room movies. I mean, I wouldn't doubt the person who did escape room movies. It's not just based on escape rooms today. It's also like you got Saw, you got Resident Evil, you got Cube. That person's probably a Cube fan. I bet you my money. She, whoever. I don't remember who the director is, but about
Saw James Wan.
No, I'm not talking about the escape room.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I went in complete fast-paced, crazy JC Walsh mode. So
now I was looking up all like the Rotten Tomatoes and stuff.
I just wanted to throw that out there because the whole time I've had that parallel running through my mind, and I've been wondering what you guys were going to think about them.
You guys
nailed all the comparisons earlier. Yeah.
Look at Halloween, okay? Mm-hmm. First, John Carpenter's Halloween did a lot for the horror genre. Did a great thing for the horror genre. Okay, then you also got Bob Clark's Black Christmas.
Great
I give you a look. And so both of those
better than Halloween.
For slow that fucking shit down. So now, which is funny. Now it's funny Ben saying that because as much as I love the first movie, I enjoy a lot of the other movies more, and I enjoy 2018 more than the first film. I know a lot of old school horror fans would think that's blasphemy. No, it's not, because it's okay to. A lot of people think Aliens is better than the first Alien. You know, I used to be like that. Now I think Aliens better than the first. I think Aliens better than the Aliens because of the horror centrics of the first Alien. It's terrifying. It's a terrifying movie.
Well, Alien is a full-blown horror movie.
Yeah,
Aliens is an action movie.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Action movie with horror themes.
Look at
Terminator
and Terminator 2.
It's horror adjacent, just like Predator is horror adjacent.
Terminator 1's a fucking horror movie. I don't care. That's a slasher.
Terminator 1 is a horror movie.
It's a slasher movie.
Is a horror movie. Terminator 2 is a high-budget action movie.
That's my point.
It's a thriller movie. Yeah.
We wouldn't have a lot of things about slashers in general if we didn't have Halloween. It is an imperfect film. It is a lot of people will praise that movie compared to a lot of others, and I love watching the first movie. But let me tell you, there's some scenes just they draw it out too much. When he kills the girl in the car, it doesn't look good to you actually really realize later on he slit her throat. It's not really a great scene, really drawn out.
But again,
there's a lot
what it did for what it did with what it had, it's
that's
phenomenal.
exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
So people that overanalyze some movies need to take a step back and go, wait a minute.
Halloween 2, 1981 is terrible. I watch it a lot because there's a lot of great things. Sorry, I mean I was going with you on that.
No, you're good. You know what movie's not terrible?
What's that?
Halloween 3.
I love you.
Save Tom Atkins at any cost. That's the new.
I love Tom Atkins.
You get to see his butt.
He's
the one of the most likable chauvinists ever.
He's so good. I watched. I finally a couple weeks ago. I was bored and I watched that fucking Maniac Cop. Man, that's a movie.
That's a movie with Bruce Campbell. I haven't seen it.
Oh no. We need to watch that movie for this because
we do.
I love that shit. And I started to rewatch Wolf Cop the other night, but I stopped it because
I saw it in the Amazon recent watched or whatever.
I was starting to watch it. I was drunk. I was hammered the other night. I was like, let me just put it. I just wanted to watch it. There's a scene in that movie that I rather enjoy, and I was hoping to kind of get back to it. You know
his cock.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that one, but
it's huge.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you understand with it. So look. I'm critical on some things. Some movies, now granted, maybe because I knew this movie ahead of time, so I have a little bit, but I don't have any I don't put this in a regard like I put Return of the Living Dead. Like that movie means the world to me. So just like Halloween means the world to Joe, fucking Return of the Living Dead to me, I don't care how cheesy it is. That's a 10. Like that movie's one of
that's me with that's me with Dream Warriors.
But Dream Warriors is regarded as one of the You're not alone in that battle.
Yeah.
And just like I'm not alone with the Return of the Living Dead battle. I know, and just like Joe's not alone with the Halloween battle. But there are people out there that want to be just judgy assholes that are going to watch any of those three movies that we just said and go, I mean, the first one was better, or this was better, or that.
Right. Oh, this is not a real horror movie.
The wizard scene is a little too much for me.
Right.
Yeah, just like certain people with Malignant, you know what I mean? Then don't be into it. That's fine, but at least give it a shot. I think it's better than a lot of other bullshit that's come out in the last couple of years. But what it comes down to is this movie just I feel like it holds up for the time period that it came out in, because this movie was super low budget. Again, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. We never looked it up, but I thought it was a TriStar release movie, like one of those lower budget. This came out
it's independent. I looked up.
It's definitely an indie movie.
It came out around the same time as it's not too far from when Ginger Snaps was originally released, or
Ginger Snaps 2001.
Yeah, so it's understandable. 97, 2001 is 5 years. It's not that far off. But low budget. Fucking I'm trying to think what else was big in that same time.
Wow, budget is $350,000.
Well, just like you said.
Yeah, nothing.
Scream was
nothing.
Scream was
it made
still
$9 million.
Popular.
It made $9 million.
You said that Cube only had $350,000.
And it made $9 million.
Yeah, that's a fucking home run. That's BS.
Yeah, because I think Saw had to have had a bigger budget than that too, and Saw made like 100 million or
yeah. I think it was like 1.5 million. They made that movie for somewhere around there, but it was definitely higher than
I forgot what I was looking for.
Saw.
Yeah,
Saw.
Saw had it definitely had a budget of $1 million. There's no way it didn't. All right, I got it. Budget was 1.2 million. Box office 103.
Holy shit!
But
something like that.
You see what this did? It planted the seeds for that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I don't know. It's just it's a very parallel, all essentially shot in like one room, added with a little like one or two things here and there. The fact that they shot, I didn't know that they shot this for that little, but I knew it was low budget. I didn't know that it was that low. I thought it was about $1 million. Like normally, like anything about around $1 million or like less than $2 is technically, but that for $350,000 for what they did with this, dude, the CGI can be as bad as it wants if that's the case. This is still better than most of the stuff that's out now.
Yeah, that's where I can definitely give it a pass.
Point where I was annoyed by it. I was like, oh, I can
No.
tell I see CGI, but it's still kind of cool. But again, that room where like it was like voice activated and everything just came out, you could tell, but it was still like, whoa, that's fucking creepy. It was still enough to get you like your heart racing. It still worked, you know. So
I don't know. I could watch stuff like this. I know this is gonna sound weird, but I think they came out around the same year or so. I could watch something like this way more than I could watch something like fucking Lawnmower Man, because you watch something like Lawnmower Man.
Lawnmower Man was like 92.
92,
oh, no
95,
shit.
Way
before
oh, all right. It's like that shit still to me is like, dude, that shit is fucking rough, man. Sometimes.
No, that's rough. But that movie, the
92.
Oh no shit. Yeah. Okay, then 5 years.
I was dead on.
You, man.
You're welcome. Again.
Look at you.
I know my shit. Don't fuck with me, man.
And then Lawnmower Man 2 is just straight garbage. So.
Well, so Lawnmower Man.
Lawnmower Man's story is really good.
It is cool. It's cool. The idea's there.
The fucking
the short story.
The screenplay was shit. The movie was just thrown out. That movie had the same fucking issue that a lot of other Stephen King adaptations had, which is, oh hey, if Stephen King's name is attached to it, it's going to make us shitloads of money. So just do whatever you want and make a movie.
Even Maximum Overdrive
today, and there's a lot of good stuff today, but they still do it.
I mean,
like Under the Dome TV series, and he was involved with that. The TV series is fucking shit.
I never saw that.
I love that book. I love that book.
I never really saw. Well, the fucking In the Tall Grass. I thought that was great, and a lot of people.
I gotta see that, but I want to read it first. But that's him and his son wrote that together.
I thought that was amazing. Yeah. I think that was another fucking. Who made that movie? I just saw that today. I think the guy who made this movie. I think the director of this movie made that.
Shut up.
I swear to God.
Got you.
I got it right on my.
I'm almost positive.
Macento.
Fuck, you're right.
In the Tall Grass.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, look at you.
I read it today.
And he made Splice. I fucking love Splice.
How's that vodka working for you? That was awesome. He also worked on. He also worked on Lock and Key, which is his which is Joe Hill's, based on Joe Hill's graphic novel. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son, so he worked on 2 episodes.
Lock and Key is cool.
So he's in with it. That's good.
So my point being is, like that movie was great. I think that's why I popped it in my head to even bring that up, because it was I thought that was well done. But yeah, and a lot of people shit on that, but I thought that was great. I thought that was a great fucking Netflix, because some Netflix stuff is a little too cheesy, but I thought that was very well done. For me, I enjoyed it for what it was. I like weird shit though, so I don't know. It's not everybody's cup of tea. Like that Midnight Mass show that just dropped. But I'm a big sucker for fucking Mike Flanagan. I haven't watched Blind Manor yet, but this isn't attached to that. So like that's why I wanted to watch this one. And it's, man, I'll tell you, if you guys, I mean, I don't know. It just came out. If I knew about this, this should have been like the next Fear Street. Like we should have fucking all blasted through that and watched it. It fucking destroys that, but it's a series though. That's the difference.
Like,
I
enjoy Fear Street, but Mike Flanagan.
It's a Mike Flanagan thing, and it's very heavy.
And I've never seen anything made by that guy.
Yeah, you have Oculus.
Oh, okay. Oculus is fucking awesome. That movie's so good.
Plus, and that's like early on in his career.
WWE. It was his first movie. And
Absentia.
Look it up.
Absentia. I have it. Absentia.
Hold on.
Oh no! You talk about his short. You talk about the short film. It's his first short film, not his first full length.
Oculus is full length.
No, it's not. But the short.
Oculus is 100% full length. WWE put it out. It's got Karen Gilligan.
Yeah, dude, I saw that shit in theaters.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So
Absentia.
That might be his first like short movie or something, but Oculus is a full length movie.
He did a short story of a short movie of Oculus. Matt reviewed it for his MySpace page back in the day when I wrote for Matt before Scars, and then he did Absentia and then Oculus. That should be Oculus
so
Chapter 3.
All I know is the one that I'm talking about is the one that Karen Gilligan's in.
Yeah, that's 2013. That's the second
Yeah.
full-length film. His first full-length film.
And he made fucking Dr. Sleep. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my bad.
I was gonna say that next.
Yes.
Oculus Chapter 3 was a short in 2006.
Okay.
And then there's nothing else about Oculus before that. But then after that short was Absentia 2011, which is my first movie ever seen by him, which is great cosmic horror. Oh, it's so cool. And then Oculus 2013, and then Hush.
Oh yeah, Hush is good.
Hush is
cool.
cool.
I've seen that once. But...
And then Before I Wake, which came out much later. I must
have been drinking when I was watching that.
Yeah, and he did Haunting at Hill House, which is one of the.
I think that's what I meant. I didn't see the show. I didn't see the shows.
Yeah, Haunting at Hill House is amazing.
He did 2 Stephen King adaptations, and they're both great.
I did Gerald's Game too.
Yeah, it's great.
I've never seen it.
I have one minor complaint, but it's very small. It's very small.
I think it's got that Carla Gugino girl, whatever in it, the lady. I'm not sad if that's the one that's in it.
I think so, but he's that's either his wife or somebody he knows. He does what Rob Zombie does. He casts.
No, his wife is in all this stuff. She's in the Midnight Mass as one of the lead characters.
That's what
she looks like the lady you're thinking of. She's got like curly hair.
He's got at least 3 or 4 black-haired women in his movie.
Yeah, but no, his wife has been in the last she's a big part of this. She was a big part of Bly, which I haven't seen yet, but I know she was a huge part of fucking.
It. Bly's good.
Yeah, I will. I'll watch it eventually. I should have already seen it, but I just.
It's more of a gothic romance, but still freaky. It's still got that. It's still some creepy shit. It's still well done.
This had the romance stuff in it, and it wasn't so much. I don't want to give anything away because I literally I didn't know anything about this. I didn't even know it was coming out. I don't pay attention to Netflix at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kate Siegel or whatever.
Yeah, Kate Siegel's his wife. Just like I didn't know about anything about Fear Street, dude. I had no fucking idea about this, and somebody had mentioned it. I kind of wrote it off because I was like, I didn't even watch Bly Manor. And then Spooky Kooky, the lady I know who makes the candles and stuff, she made a post about it. And I went, oh, she's talking about it. I don't see her talk about a lot of
it's blowing
stuff.
up these past couple of days.
She doesn't talk about movies. She talks about more like other spooky stuff.
Yeah.
She doesn't really talk about movies so much that I see. So when she talked about this series, I went, oh, that's interesting. Because if she's talking about this, then that means it's probably something to do with like the stuff that she's into. So I went, all right, fuck it. Let me put it on. Pleasantly surprised. Lot of very, very cool twists. A lot of twists early on that I didn't expect that I thought were going to happen later on in the show. Heavy stuff in that show. Enough about that show. We're talking about Q. Definitely watch Midnight Mass. I mean, I don't know if it's a 10, but it's pretty fucking close. Because Haunting at Hill House. Haunting at Hill House was 100% a 10. Like every single episode was a 10. There was nothing bad about that show. No, sorry. There was one or two issues I had. I had a couple issues with one of the actresses. The youngest one, the really pretty little young one. The
last episode I had a problem with the Haunting Hill House only because
I agree. I had something to do with the reveal.
Cheesy. That's too cheesy. Other than that, the show's fantastic.
I agree. I had the same problem that you did. Yeah, I had the same problem with you.
Yeah.
I like put it this way. If as a series, it's a 10 to me.
Yep.
Each individual episode might have a flaw or two, but I thought as a package it was a 10.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But anyway, so Midnight Mass. It's I mean, as of right now, watching it just once through, and I blasted through it in a day and a half. I happen to be off this weekend. I mean, it's like a 9.5, 9, somewhere around there. I mean, if I watch it again, I might look at more.
Awesome.
Because I'm gonna pull out more this time. It doesn't have any of the cheesy episodes that the Haunting and Hill House had, and I can't compare it to Bly because I never watched it, so I don't know.
Right.
But we're not gonna get into that right now because we're not actually reading it, and that's not an official score for me because we're not all reviewing it together. You don't know what you're gonna get from me. Might be a 6 the next time I watch it. I don't know. This movie, couple spoilers as far as might as well start, kind of narrowing it down a little bit. Couple spoilers. There are not a lot of kill scenes. The couple kill scenes that do happen are pretty good. Two very graphic things. The opening scene in the movie, super graphic. Guy gets fucking cheese grated to death.
You see him fall. Every part of him just falls. I love that they took their time with how he fell apart.
I think that might have been the biggest budget thing they did in the movie, and they put it first. So it was very, very, very well done. The acid in the face scene was fucking gnarly because you don't see it, and the way they did it was so well done.
Yep.
And then all the other kill scenes were kind of like just basic kill scenes. They were like, they were like shock value, like, oh, somebody gets stabbed through the heart, from behind. Oh no,
That
the
was
character's still alive, kind of thing.
yeah.
It was
I'll
well
be
done,
honest.
but
Yeah, I agree with you. It was well done, but it was like oh shit, he's still. It's like okay, we've seen this twist before, but at the same time,
yeah,
I wanted that character to live because
yeah, I agree. But I think it's why they
when
did
you
it.
got to
yeah,
the
that's what they
last
wanted.
when you get to the last three characters, you're like, oh wow, this is how it should be.
Final girl.
These are the ones you want to root for.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, it
and
turned
I
out
like
that way for sure.
yeah.
And
But
only
That
I
worth
did
tweet
like
at
that.
first, I wasn't sure about him.
And only one
Yeah.
remained anyway. Good old fucking Captain Gumdrop. Good
I'm
job,
down
buddy.
for Captain Gumdrop.
Wait, you said Captain Gumdrop.
Dude, I thought I said Gumdrop?
No, you definitely.
No, he said Gumdrop. He said with a G.
He said a
Settle
G.
down there, Ben.
You
had a
I
long
get
weekend
excited.
too, apparently.
You dirty.
I get excited.
Well,
you
we had
dirty boy.
a dirty evening. We had a very dirty evening the other night. So
We did.
after I rolled around in the woods.
I'm glad he made it because I was when they got to the point where like it shifted the bridge. I was like, no, because it's like get him out of there. It's like you all suck the way you yelled at him.
He got mistreated so poorly the whole time, but he got to
live.
Well,
it worked
when he peed, I didn't blame that girl for being grossed out by him just peeing.
Like right in front of him too.
They all burnt out. Their patience.
Yeah, I would have been pissed off by that too, to be honest.
Well, she was almost pissed on. So.
Well, yeah, and again, I don't have a problem with.
If we're thankfully we get to start talking about like the latter half. So I added the spoiler alert above us. I did that a while ago though. I think Quentin fucking the guy who played Quentin nailed it for the reason that he did a really good job of slowly building. And we've talked about it. We talked about it a little bit before.
Yeah.
But now that like we can really delve deep, dude, like hit that guy's fucking eyes and like seeing him go like all crazy and shit. I feel like that the guy who I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name, so I'm sorry, Vincenzo or whatever.
The director.
It seemed like he was taking a page right out of Sam Raimi's fucking book, man. He did like those like slanted fucking like close up angle shots, like he's doing all this and shit with Quentin with his eyeballs.
It was very foreign. It was very foreign too. Like maybe not Italian, but it's definitely like foreign filmmaking too. You could tell the style. Like it really harkened back to like my brain keeps going to Italian or maybe even Spanish type of filmmaking because like when Edge of the Axe was a Spanish film director and he did different things with American slasher, so that's why I felt like this did the same thing kind of in some aspect,
that guy is definitely the reason why all of this, in my opinion, was able to get tied up so well because like I fucking adored the scene with the doctor hanging from the actual edge of the cube. I thought that shit was awesome. Like and like you saw it coming, right? Like but he played it off so well, dude, and he just drops the bitch and it's like that was awesome. Bravo. That shit got me good. And I thought it was a little corny that like he came back and like he stabbed 11 through a heart through a heart or whatever.
Him laying on the ground with his head split open. He should have been dead. So if they didn't do that, maybe it wouldn't feel as cheesy. Because you think he's dead. It's like this is not a slasher movie.
Nah, they gave it away with Worth saying, "Oh, I'm glad he's dead" or something like that. It's like you shouldn't have said anything because now I know he's not. This is a wrestling thing. So Joe, you're not gonna get it. No, so it's always the dead giveaway when the wrestler gets hit by a finisher, other guy goes for the pin, and the announcer will always go, "That's it. You can't kick out of that." And they always get the 2 counts. So it's like you did it. You did the wrestling thing.
Oh yeah.
You acknowledged it.
When I watched wrestling back in the day, I did see those type of little things.
That's fucking announcing 101 that's the way to get you. And they did that, and it was a little too broadcasted, but it didn't matter because he got his very brutal comeuppance. If you think about it.
What a great!
No way.
Great scene.
With him getting dragged. The smear effects was a little cheesy, but it was the intent. It was the intent.
Yeah.
It was there, and I really liked it. It's a shame Levin died, and
I was mad. I was mad she died. I was so mad. I was like, oh no, but still, yeah.
And Worth
I was hoping for I was hoping for her and this, the autistic kid to get out.
Yeah, me too. You knew
They did the most work to get out.
was not gonna make it.
Without those two, they wouldn't have figured it out. They all would have been stuck in one little.
Telling you, I don't get like I could watch this movie like 2 or 3 more times and I could still be like, yeah, but like why was like the doctor in there? Like she didn't do anything
to patch wounds. Think about it like this.
I thought she was like a medical doctor.
You know that. It doesn't matter. I mean,
mental.
That's the way I looked at it. She is, but I looked at it like that. Like I looked at it like, well, I mean,
she's still got an MD, or she's still got
a. Quentin's history though too. That could have been the thing to start the divide or start like that.
Well, and she knew how to deal with the autistic kid. She knew how to like keep him calm.
She dealt with the
so she had
the psyches of each individual.
We brought up
person.
empathy earlier. She was the empathetic character. She was the one who like thought everybody had a purpose. So.
Yeah.
And then she started getting all fucking cuckoo crazy with her goddamn conspiracy theories. Then Quentin had to shut her ass up.
That was great. I'm sorry.
She might not have been a harm. I'm just saying she might have been Alex Jones' cousin, but he's right a lot of the time. He's wrong about some stuff.
What should I do, Lord?
I plead the fifth on that stuff.
You put the freaking frogs in the cube.
I love him.
I would pay good money to see Alex Jones and like other randoms like fucking Joe Rogan and shit in the cube. Put like Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Burt Kreischer, Dave Chappelle, like all in the cube, and just see how they could handle it.
That's almost like how people.
Yeah,
that's like how people pay pay-per-view to watch Death Race. And in the way our society is, we probably would watch that.
Yeah. So the test instead is can Burt eat like fucking 10 cheeseburgers or something?
Which one becomes a cannibal?
You just change what the cube would be. So the cube maybe gets changed based on who's in there. You don't know.
Imagine if Alex Jones becomes the cannibal, like, haha, you can't blame everybody else.
Well, you'd be surprised. A lot of what he's tried to warn people about has come true years later. So he's wrong about a lot of crazy stuff, but that's also because people manipulate what he says.
Theatrics.
Whatever sells his products more.
But I mean, realistically, like there's a lot of smoke screens that were sold, a lot of wolf tickets that were sold, right?
Wolf tickets.
Just depends on what side of the fence that it depends on the Kool-Aid you feel like drinking.
Well, then are you
a cherry guy or are you a tropical fruit guy?
Cherry, of course. So then to supplement my 4 picks, then we obviously get the most famous human being on the planet, Tony.
Jim Jones.
Tony, the star in The Dark Knight Rises.
No.
I'm a huge fan of Jim Jones. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, he comes out with little Kool-Aid packets.
I mean the Kool-Aid man himself.
And then Bert's in there and he loves Kool-Aid.
I have a weird fascination
I'm a Jim Jones fan. He dealt with the public very well.
I have an odd fascination with Jim Jones, and I'm very well aware that it might not be totally
healthy.
Nope.
Natural.
Well, healthy. No, I'm agreeing with you on the healthy thing. Yeah, I might not be very healthy that I have a fascination. But
are you sympathizing with Jim Jones right now?
I had a huge thing with Ed Gein when I was young. I know all about him, but I got past all that because I'm like, he just loved his mom. He just wanted to wear a woman's suit. Big deal,
Woman.
I'm more into like this. I'm more into the psyche kind of things though. Like I when all the stuff was coming out about Ted Bundy a couple years ago, I was really into the stuff that was going on.
So cool.
It's wild stuff. Richard Ramirez stuff last year was great.
That shit was cool too.
That's all stuff I've known
Some
about.
like Unabomber stuff came out not too long ago.
There's not enough. I don't think there's enough stuff about Jim Jones. I'm a fan of a good public speaker is what I'm getting at. Like I'm a fan of somebody who can like capture your.
I'm gonna contain myself for this one.
Like he has an ability to make you go, that makes sense. Like it boggles my mind that people fall for that shit.
Man,
and that's what I'm so fascinated by. There's a long line of people like that in life.
Yeah.
Hey, public speakers are all super fans.
There's a lot of that nowadays, in the world, and it blows my mind that people don't catch on. That
gurus, bunch of bloodthirsty.
We lost our feed there for a second. Frozen, so.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Well, here's my question for you, right? And this is for the movie.
Fuck, I want to say something so bad.
Did Kazan actually get out? Was that white light actually the outside world? That's my question.
I think so.
It was a gift certificate to Bennigan's.
You think his feet touch blades of grass and he's out there in the sun?
Well,
I hope so because
I have a feeling that
As
it
long
was
as no
more of
color
like a
red.
desert thing. But yeah, I think if no, how does somebody like him handle himself once he gets out there? So I think that's why it's left to the interpretation.
Yeah.
Because say he does get out and it's just
Then what?
a desert. Because again, somebody brought that up in this movie. I don't remember what character said it, but they're like, this has to be in the middle
Ryan
of New
Reynolds
Mexico
buried
because
alive.
where are you gonna find? Where are you gonna? Well, that's a whole different animal. That scares me.
Well,
that
yeah, it made me think of
really
it.
bothers me.
That movie bothers me
scares the
too,
shit
dude.
out
You
of me.
kidding me? I can never
It's
watch it
tough to
again.
watch. Yeah, I can't watch something like that. That
No.
scares the fucking.
Once was enough for me,
I don't
dude.
like it. Yep.
Nope.
I watched it once. I'm good. I can't do that again. That's a tough
Pussies.
one. That movie. Not even the best movie. It's not even that good of a movie.
Says the
man,
guy who
that-
got triggered
that
by
idea-
Midsummer.
Yeah, the idea.
Well, it's
of it
because the
just
movie's
doesn't-
not very good. There's a big difference.
Oh, how you watched the
Midsummer's
episode
amazing.
about your little rant you went
Yeah,
on
no.
about I just need to escape.
Yeah,
I
no.
need escapism.
Listen. We've all watched really bad movies, and I've also watched 13
I don't.
Ghosts. So I like my bar. My
What you're
bar's
saying is you really like it.
Right.
my
'Cause
bar
you
is
just-
really high.
No. You should have switched that.
Oh, I
sentence
should
there,
have.
bud.
Oh, you're
If
right.
you were gonna insult 13 Ghosts, you should have said we've all
Good
watched
God.
really good movies, and then we've watched 13 Ghosts, and then your insult would have worked. But you just admitted to us subconsciously that you enjoy it. So thank you.
I'm projecting. It's projecting.
Well, that falls into this also. People are getting trapped into something that they don't expect. Now, granted, the trap is a little bit different, but there's things that are, that
No, that would be
you
my
like,
cube. It's just to
but,
watch 13
Ben-
Ghosts.
Ben's getting ass in the face.
It's like I have to watch fucking like 13 Ghosts, Ghost Ship.
What's
Actually, I don't
worse?
mind Ghost Ship.
What's worse, walking into
Ghost
cube
Ship was
that
a
has
scene. The beginning scene makes me
possible-
think of this movie.
a possible acid bath in the face, or the Juggernaut, and you don't know.
The Juggernaut
Or,
from
the
the
13 Ghosts.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the one from X3, The Last Stand.
No, because it's not a horror movie.
With Vinny Jones.
Some
I'm the
people think it's a
Juggernaut,
horror movie.
bitch. Yeah, so
Now that's a horror
Well-
movie we should watch.
Those movies are horrible.
X3.
It's bad. It's really bad. I've rewatched it recently, and it's really
I have
bad.
too. It's really fucking bad. That shit scares me. It
I
gives me
tried giving it
nightmares.
a chance just because I was like, I'm still such a fan of all the other ones.
Well,
Might
'cause,
as well
like,
watch
the
them
last
all
time I
in
saw the
succession. I
movie-
watched a bunch of
Last time I saw it was
and
when
First
you and I
Class is
saw it.
Still the best one. We're not talking about X-Men movies right now. We're going to talk about this movie.
Nope.
And this movie
X-Men.
is it's good. It holds up.
we hit the ending of it actually, which is pretty good.
Through our rambling
happened,
madness.
Lost you guys.
No,
I'm
through our,
really quiet.
through our rambling madness, we were able to pull ourselves together, and
Wait,
still
shit.
we
Is
fought
it
through
frozen?
the cube.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
There we go.
No, you can hear. You're good. You're good. That was
Keeps on
weird.
freezing. Keeps on freezing. Yeah, keeps on freezing. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I can see
Yeah,
you
no,
guys
I'm
moving
messing around. I was messing around.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
No.
I
Ben's
don't want
moving,
to.
kind of.
Yeah. I'm good.
What happened? We've been so good lately.
Yeah. No, I'm.
Did I lose my feed?
I think
No,
you're
you
just
can't,
going.
dude.
I think you're just going insane.
Oh.
He sounds like a crazy person. Right?
Yeah.
No, it's frozen.
Right now he's like, oh.
You guys are frozen on my side.
All right. Well, then don't mind me if
Can you
I
hear me?
start eating these
Yes, we can hear you.
gumdrops.
We can hear you.
That's, that's very
Oh.
odd. It's very
Oh.
like you guys are both frozen, and now you're coming back. Now Ben's about to eat
Oh.
a gumdrop.
Hmm?
Now we're good. Yeah, now we're good. Okay,
Oh, you
All
good?
right. it's probably
That
time to
was
wrap it up.
weird,
Fuck it.
dude.
Let's
That was
let's
so
do this.
weird.
Um,
I think we're at the end.
final thoughts on the movie. Give yourself a score. 1 out of 10.
Gumdrops.
Nope, it's still doing it. It's still doing it.
Doing what?
Fuck. It's still freezing. My side, you guys keep on freezing.
He froze. Oh, we haven't had this happen in a
No,
while.
oh.
He's still there. He's still there. He's
Wait.
Still there.
Yeah.
I'm good. Now, finally.
Okay. You
This,
good?
this is the
We
real
we were
horror
waiting
show.
for you to get kicked out because we haven't seen
Alright.
you kicked out in a long time.
That means it's time.
Yep.
Our feet are starting to learn. Final thoughts and scores. I'm gonna go with 1 out of 10 bags of gumdrops in honor of our boy Kazam. What the fuck is
Not
his
Kazam.
Yeah, you're right. It's Kazan, not Kazam. You were close.
All right, Kazam.
Kazan.
He is
No,
now
Kazan.
Kazam.
I'm gonna say
Kazam.
Kazan.
1 out of 10 bags
I think
of
think
gummy.
Kazan will have
bears.
two A's,
Where
right?
the fuck they're gumdrops?
Gumdrops.
Gumdrops.
All right.
Except he
All right,
hates the red
ready?
ones.
Ben, because you picked the movie, I'm gonna go last. Ben, because you picked the movie, go first.
All right. I will start by saying I already said this at the beginning of the episode. I like this movie. I like this movie a good fair amount. Like I said, the main majority of the reason I like character building in movies. I think that's probably the thing that will always attract me most, besides, you know, a sweet fucking monster and or kooky slasher with a kooky hand knife thing. I just think they did such a good job with the slow build of seeing the downward spiral of these fucking, all realistically they're all assholes except Levin. Oh, and Kazam.
Oh, she's kind of assholes a couple moments. She had her asshole moments, but
Well, she just broke. But I still the trap.
These fucking college kids.
the traps were fine. You're definitely not there for that. You're there for the cool aesthetic of the cube itself. It's a cool little set piece. It never shifts focus. It never goes away. You are constantly in this thing. You are in for a wild fucking ride for the most part. With that being said, you have to compare it to Saw. Like, it is a movie, if you've seen at least one Saw, you gotta make comparisons. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, fuck this movie because Saw exists. I agree with Ed. I feel like you should be able to take parts, bits and pieces from both, and it's like, I like this and I like this. I definitely
like have Saw without this movie.
Exactly. So it's like you really have to thank this movie. That being said, I still like Saw a little bit more if I'm just thinking about the first movie. I think what Saw did as a whole, especially the twist at the end, no one ever would have guessed that Tobin Bell or whatever the fuck the guy's name is was dead on the floor the whole time. Like, shit like that. That's crazy. But Cube just nailed it for me. So I'm still gonna give this an 8.5 bags of gumdrops. I like it. I liked it a lot.
Good,
I thought it was really good.
Cool. So I'm with everything Ben said to a certain degree. I mean, the character development is fantastic in this movie. There was a certain way with how it started off, the pace. None of the movie's fast paced. None of it is fast paced, but there's a certain build that was proper. It was great. That whole scene we're just talking about where they had to be quiet. I mean, the amount of tension built in that is great filmmaking. I mean, that scene alone made a good movie. If I didn't like the rest of it, if that makes sense. There were some points in the acting that did drive me nuts. It got a little over exaggerated. I'm not saying it's bad acting. I'm saying over exaggerated. I was like, oh my god, this is like exhausting. And then the combination of like, you want these characters to be imperfect. You want these characters to be assholes. You want these characters to be likable and unlikable at the same time, because it enhances the paranoia and the mistrust that you're supposed to have with this movie. They did that very well. There's still moments where I kind of like lost interest. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like pulled away from it because it felt repetitive. I think that's my whole thing. It felt a little bit repetitive. But then we get I want to see more traps. I want to see them go through more traps, like how they had one intense scene. But I really enjoyed the twist. We get closer to like how Quentin really became the villain the whole story. I liked how you get to see more of how they revealed more of the cube and the little tricks of the cube. I got pulled back in, and then this is where Levin shined as a character, along with Kazan. I fell right back in love with the movie on that, and then all the stuff, as far-fetched it was near the end with Quentin coming back, it was like holy shit moment, and then the endings. I really liked that a lot. Having said that, I will give this a 7.5 gumdrops, because it was an 8. It was an 8.5 at first, and then I lost it. It went down to 7, but I wasn't ever gonna go lower than 7. And I was this close to being an 8, but it's 7.5 to me for this movie. I would watch it again, because it did a lot for the horror sci-fi genre. It did a lot for character development. It does a lot for independent movies. It's one of those movies where I wish I saw earlier, but I'm kind of glad I watched it for this show. So yeah.
Cool. I agree with most of that. I'd seen this movie a bunch. I feel like I'm kind of torn with my ratings on it because I had seen it so early, and because I know what it did for like influencing movies later on, I almost kind of want to give it a little bit of a scaled grade, because I go, well, it's the chicken before the egg conversation. You know what I mean? Like, essentially, like this was a kind of a first of its kind. And I'm sure there were movies before this that even did things like this, but like this one, in my opinion, for like the genre that it set off after this, not too far off in the near future after this one, it really kicked off a lot of things that clearly fucking inspired other things later on. And then it turns out, this guy's gone off to make other really good things, and it's just a good independent movie. And I think that's really the biggest key here. It's like, you're not going into this looking at it like it's a high budget horror movie, like you're gonna see big over the top set pieces, and you're gonna see over the top graphics and visual effects and whatever. But like, what it does really, really, really well. And again, it is more of a character driven movie than it is anything else. And I think that's what you have to kind of decide. You have to decide, like, well, am I going to be okay with it just being more of a character thing, and then once in a while I get an occasional or does my heart want this to be more like a Saw, where there's more blood and guts and gore? If you're looking for more of a Saw thing, it's going to be a letdown, because it's not that. It's kind of designed to be that way, but it's not that. It's not that kind of a movie. It's designed to be more of like how long will you have before you break psychologically kind of a movie.
Yeah.
Added in with the tension of like, oh, these rooms are a booby trap. You know what I mean? But I mean, overall, I think it holds up very, very, very well. I haven't seen it in a couple of years, 2-3 years. But I'd seen it a bunch growing up, like on and off. Every couple of years, I'll pop this on, because it's just one of those movies you have to. Like, it's just, if you know it from back when it came out, anyways, it's, for me, it's been in my rotation for for a long time now. So I don't hold this up as highly regarded as I do something like a Return of the Living Dead or any of those kind of movies. But like, I think this has its place in time. I think it's a picture of time. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm right in between you both, and I think that's where I'm gonna give it the rub. I'm my heart is at a 7.5 with Joe, and that's really where my heart is saying. But because I made that point of like, well, show this movie to a bunch of people who grew up with Saw, and they're gonna go, it's just a copycat of Saw, but it came out first. Like, if you can respect where it did and realize that it was before those movies, it kind of gets a little bit of a bump. So you have to kind of look at it that way. So, or like with the music argument that I made, not argument, but like the point I made with the music thing. Like, if you grew up listening to Unearthed or Shadows Fall, like, you go, well, these are the bands. Like, all this other shit that came after that sucked.
Well, look at the old school thrashers. You look at where they come from.
Yeah. It's the same idea. So I mean, I'm gonna go right in the middle of you guys. I'm gonna give it an 8 for what it does.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it deserves that. I'm more of like a 7.5, to be honest with you, as far as like the way it holds up. As far as like when I watch it, I do agree. I think there are a couple parts that drag, but I think because of what it inspired and what it. I mean, I don't know that to be factual, because I've never heard interviews. I mean, I don't listen to a lot of interviews like that, but I would assume this inspired a lot after it, or it feels like it does, because it was before all that other stuff. It was way less of it. But, and to be honest with you, what really is going to give it the half a point bump is the fact that it was made for $350,000, and it looks as good as it does. Still, like, that's impressive to me. Could it be a better movie? Absolutely. Could it be a worse movie? Oh, absolutely. Like, there are movies that are way worse than this that have come out since, after, before, like, that are still coming out to this day that are way worse.
We watched one last week.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies, and even that I feel bad giving that. Like I said before, I feel bad giving that movie such a low rating, but that was rough. But
No.
that's a different kind of
There's
rough.
still people that love that movie, and that's all that matters. That's all.
No, and they deserve it, and I get it, and I get where I do get where people can watch that and go. And I think we all agreed on that movie, that's one of those movies that you go, wait, are we talking about, like, everything's got a situation. Like, there are albums that I can't listen to all year round. I can only listen to during certain times. If you make me listen to a certain, album that I like in the wintertime, in the summertime, I might not like it, because I'm in the wintertime, it's darker or longer, and
like Bloody Kisses in the fall time.
Mood setting. Yeah. Anyways, I think, like, if you watch Spookies, if you just throw it on as background visual aids at a cool Halloween party, it's probably close to an 8, like, because it's just dumb scenery and you go, oh, this is awesome. Oh, that's so stupid. It's awesome. And you can get like the schlockiness of it. But man, when you watch it as a movie, it's not good. It's just not good. Like, but that's the point of it, right? Like there are a lot of those movies. Like watch Chopping Mall. That movie sucks, but it's amazing. It's like
I love that. See,
it's one of my favorite movies ever. But like it's not a
you
see what I'm saying?
Can we say that for a chat? That one.
I would love
I
to
watched
talk
it
about
for the
that
first time. I think 3 weeks ago, and
I love it. But to me, that is a fucking perfect figment of time. Like that's to me is I love that era of music.
Because it is stupid, but it's like perfectly stupid to the point where it's
stupid.
Great.
Like
it's great.
It's the right kind of stupid. Like you're supposed to turn your brain off for something like that. You're supposed to just slam popcorn in your mouth.
That
you know
to me
like,
is like that is like to me like Malignant, but I would put it high up there.
No, I agree.
It's the same. It's the same.
That's a perfect way to look at it. I agree with you 100%.
Yep.
I really do. You know, like where this is probably closer to like a Children of the Corn, where it's like a slow burn. You got to take a while, and then you go, oh, that's interesting. Or
I got a great idea. I want to say out here. I know I said on message board a long time ago. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, but I would love if we don't do the first one right away, we should at least do Children of the Corn 3, because that movie is I don't know if you can. We don't have to do YouTube, but that movie is. You want to talk about 90s madness? That movie is off the wall with the gore and the corn gore and the creature and I remember watching it as a kid.
There's a lot of that shit. There's a lot of stuff like that, man. If you've never seen Dollman versus the Demonic Toys, like,
oh my god, that's another way I watched. I watched that as a kid. I watched a lot of Dollman movies as a kid.
Yeah, those movies are
Ginger Dead Man versus the Evil Bong.
I didn't watch that, but I seen the first Ginger Dead Man. It was hilarious.
Thanksgiving, shit like that. There's a lot of
there's Zombievers. So fantastic.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. But yeah, I'm glad everybody liked this. I definitely go check this movie out because it is a figment in time, and I think it does hold up, and I think it does have its.
I think my score definitely would have been altered if you took this same product, if you took the same movie, same budget, same literally everything, just said in a time machine, boop, put it in. It came out in 2006 or whatever. There's no way I would have given this an 8.5. No fucking way.
That's a good point.
Impossible.
It's too much of that same thing around that time.
Yes,
that's why.
Yes. Yeah. It still would have. I still would have liked it. But probably as like a 7. But you know, that would still mean I like it a good amount. But like Ed's saying, because of what it did, because of what it did with so little, and the time it was put in. So it's an appreciation high score for me.
What we're saying is, go check it out.
Yeah, please.
On top of that, go check me out, Eddie_Vegas on Instagram.
Ooh,
my match was just released.
Segue.
What a segue. I'm fading, so we definitely gotta.
Yeah,
we gotta segue it up.
Fall asleep.
Eddie_Vegas on Instagram. My match was just finally released, all edited with commentary whole 9 yards from 2 weeks ago. So go check that out, or a week ago now. Well, a week and a half ago. Great match, a lot of fun. I've gotten a lot of really good praise and reviews on it so far because it was short and sweet, to the point, told a fun story, and we looked like we didn't skip a beat, and that's really all that matters. Bonded by Horror on Instagram. Again, I say it every week. I got to get more to it, but life has been fucking crazy lately. Every time I turn around, I have another event that I have to deal with or go to. So it's getting there. It's starting to wind down. So now we're getting the spooky season. I'm going to try to really revamp it and just kind of put up something at some point every day. I'll do my best. Almost there. I'm going to try my best. That's all I got for you guys right now. Go ahead, everybody else, because I got to pee.
Okay, I'll do my thing. JC Walsh 81 on Instagram and Slasher. JC Horror Writer on Twitter. JC Walsh on Facebook, like my page. Also on Amon Rosamilia's YouTube, horror movie discussions, 4 movie breakdown, and they're themed. Like the last one was horror westerns. So again, different type of breakdowns we do, but both enjoyable for your horror viewing pleasure. I just did Beers and Fears 2021 this past weekend at Angry Eric's Brewing. That was a great time. Got to meet some authors I haven't met before. Drinking, eating, selling books, sold a few. Nothing too crazy, but enough. It was a great experience. I loved it. We all had a good time. And then, now I got another one coming up this Saturday. Just me and the Beers and Fears crew guys, the original crew, Aman, Tim, Chuck, and Frank at Collinswood, New Jersey, the 19th annual book festival. I didn't even need the thing. Wow, look at that. That's 10 to 4. So come see the 5 of us, and we got some books. Got Within the Abyss, Death Highway, and the anthology I'm in. And then speaking of that, Amazon.com. Oh, and my newsletter's running late, but it's coming out. So I got a lot of cool shit to talk about this week, and the next one will be October 15th. So
nice.
That's it. Yeah.
A lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah.
King Benjamin?
Yeah. I don't know. Scrooge Champ. I'll get back to streaming regularly at some point.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Going on.
Yeah, it's just, work's been killer. So I've just been like, I'm gonna step away from doing the normal thing for a bit because there's no way I could do both. But whatever. Shit happens. It's only temporary, boys. Good things are gonna come around. And
well, the fantastic album came out about a year and a half ago or so. It comes in waves, Ben. Everything comes in waves.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Oh
my God.
All there.
Only Sins was giving them names. But yeah, yep. It definitely comes in waves. Holy shit. And this is a
tsunami.
This is a goddamn tsunami, my friends. And
oh no.
And shit happens, man. But I still love doing this. I will constantly say it. This gives me my reason to say, hey, man, I watch a large amount of stupid shit. So I'm glad I get to talk about it.
Not done yet.
Nowhere near close, my friends. So thanks for sticking around, everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
Means a ton.
All right, motherfuckers. If you're still live with us somehow, Friday night, we're going to be doing a special October 1st trick or treat.
Oh, true.
The October is here.
That out. And that's it. And then we're not going to announce anything ahead of time because we're just going to have to play it out. I would have loved to have a really well-oiled idea planned out for the month of October. We're going to plan it out kind of as we go. Try to get in as many as we can because we have a lot we want to talk about in the spooky time. But again, life is crazy the next couple weeks still. I'm almost done with all my wedding and life obligations with all the stuff I've had. I've had a lot going on. We all have. But we're going to get there and we're going to try to entertain as much as we can. And really the biggest thing is entertain ourselves. So I know I try to do the 31 Nights of Halloween. I think we all kind of try that. I'm going to watch at least a movie a night, or try to. It's going to be tough this year. I'm going to do the best I can. But I'm going to get a lot of them out. So otherwise, stay spooky, you sons of bitches. We'll talk.
Stay spooky. I like that.
Bye,
stay
everybody.
spooky.